What's going on, everybody? Mr. Octagonal here, and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's been a big day in the NFL. Jalen Ramsey is now a Los Angeles Ram. Get it? Because his name is Ramsey and he's on the Rams. Okay, that's corny. Anyway, we have two trades to cover. First off, I think it makes sense to cover the Marcus Peters deal because that trade sort of coincides with this one. So Marcus Peters was traded to the Ravens in exchange for inside linebacker Kenny Young and an undisclosed draft pick. That'll probably be like a 5th rounder or something. People are saying on paper that's a fleece for the Ravens, and I don't think so. I think it's a fair trade for both sides. Baltimore gets themselves another corner in Peters, who's obviously known as a ball hawk, and I think him and Marlon Humphrey, who are two very different players, but yet are both talented, I think they can sort of coincide well with each other. Humphrey more of that shutdown type corner, and Peters can make the big plays, but Peters also is not the best in coverage and is not a great tackler, which is why I think Marcus Peters is quite overrated. People might think that Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey are similar in talent. I beg to differ. I think Humphrey is a borderline top 10 cornerback in the NFL. He is a shutdown corner, and he has been excellent for Baltimore. And Marcus Peters is just not that impressive to me. So that's why I don't think it's a phenomenal deal for Baltimore. And then looking at it for the Rams side, obviously this gave them cap space to get Jalen Ramsey. But just the player-for-player trade, Kenny Young, he's talented. He's played pretty well for Baltimore. He can get in the backfield, solid run stopper, solid pass rusher. And the Rams, I would say their only hole in their defense is their inside linebacker. I mean, cornerback, that position has just been flipped upside down. But outside of that, I mean, safety, they got Weddle and John Johnson. On their defensive line, they're great. They have Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, and then off the edge, Samson Ikubum, Dante Fowler Jr. They have plenty of talent on their defense. But the only question mark is middle linebacker, and they have Corey Littleton, who's okay. But I think getting a guy like Kenny Young, I think it's an okay pickup for the Rams. Obviously, I don't think it's a great trade for them. I'm going to give the Ravens a B+, and the Rams, I'm going to give the Rams a B+ as well. If they didn't make this Jalen Ramsey trade, that'd probably be like a B- or a C+. But since they used it to get Jalen Ramsey, I'll give them a good grade for that. And then obviously, they got Jalen Ramsey, and they gave up a lot. 2 first-round picks, one this year, one next year, along with a future 4. So the Rams are in it to win it this year, as they should be. Now, yes, they're in a tough division. The 49ers are legit. That team is talented. I was not on the 49er hype trade at the beginning of the year, but my goodness, I was wrong. And then the Seattle Seahawks are probably my pick to make the Super Bowl right now. So that division has maybe the 2 best teams in the conference. I guess you could put New Orleans in that conversation as well. I would not put Green Bay in there. As you all know, I'm a Lions fan. I'm not going to talk about the game last night. But I think Seattle's my pick for the NFC right now to make the Super Bowl, and obviously San Francisco is great. So that's a tough division, and Kyler Murray has also improved week by week. So the NFC West is one of the best divisions in football, and getting a shutdown corner in Jalen Ramsey who can really do it all, I think it's big for them. Now, yes, they are trading a lot. I'm the type of person who does not approve of trading first-round picks, which is why I don't think this is an absolute steal for the Rams, but I think it's a good move for the Rams. And overall, I think they had a positive day. Basically, they traded Marcus Peters, 2 firsts and a 4 for Kenny Young, an undisclosed draft pick from Baltimore, and Jalen Ramsey. And overall, I think that's a good overall net trade for the Rams. So I think they did a good job today. And we'll have to see if Jalen Ramsey gets an extension. And if he does, how much is he going to get paid? I think we could be talking in the $80 million range, which is a lot for a cornerback. So I'm curious to see if he does get a payday. And then looking at this from the perspective of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't see them competing for the playoffs. They still have talent. Maybe not at corner anymore. I mean, they do have A.J. Boye, but it's a big drop-off after that. But they still have talented players. They still have the man, the myth, the legend, Gardner Minshew at quarterback. And I don't think the Jaguars are going to be awful this year. I could still see them finishing with like 6 or 7 wins. And they get another first-round pick. I expect this to be a late first-round pick. So let's say the Rams pick ends up being like pick 25. The Jaguars ends up being like pick 11. So they'll have, let's say, hypothetically, 11 and 25 in the first round. they can make some moves with those 2 picks. They can move up for a star. They can get 2 young, great rookies. And this is a great, great draft class. I've done a lot of scouting so far. Obviously, the 3 Minutes on the Clock podcast series will be back in January. That's when draft season starts for me. That's when the mock drafts and big boards will be back. Right now, I'm just assessing the collegiate players right now, and I think this is a really deep draft class, so the Jaguars can get a great player with that late first rounder, and then 2021 as well, and I could see the Jaguars being in the hunt for Trevor Lawrence in 2021 if Gardner Minshew doesn't pan out, if Nick Foles doesn't pan out. So having another first-round pick, having another chess piece in your pocket that they may potentially need if they want a guy like Trevor Lawrence, or maybe a guy like Justin Fields or JT Daniels. We might be getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves. We need to see more of Minshew. We need to see more of Nick Foles being back, so we can't really jump the gun there quite yet. But all around, this gives the Jaguars plenty of new options when it comes to the draft, and I don't think they get that much worse. So that'll end today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Personally, I think everybody wins. I think Baltimore comes out a winner. I think the Rams come out a winner. I think the Jaguars come out a winner. So overall, good day for all 3 of those teams. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, have a good one. Peace out.